these shapes. These are going to be the main shapes that we're going to be using to create this dog collage. If you see number 1, it's going to be our biggest shape, our head. These 2 ears are also one of our biggest shapes, and the mouth. Everything else is details that we can think about later. So these 4 shapes are what we're going to first look for. As you can see, he's got a head, a mouth, a nose, 2 eyes, 2 smaller eyes, 2 ears, and a chest. So what I did is cut out the size of the head. When I'm looking for collage pieces, I want to think about the biggest shape first. So the biggest shape on this dog is going to be his head. So I looked through magazines like this, and I looked for a pattern I want for his head. Could be any kind of magazine, any color. What do you want the head of your dog to look like? So once I found a magazine page, I ripped out the entire page. It's kind of easier that way. What I'm going to do next is put my stencil for my head shape over my magazine. I'm going to take a Sharpie and trace my head shape. Notice how I use my hand to hold down the stencil as I drew around with my right hand. Lift it up, and now I have a circle. So I'll be cutting out that circle. Nice and slowly, following the line that I drew. So this is my head shape, and I'm going to put it aside. Next, I want to think about his muzzle or his mouth. So on our cutout page, it's a shape that looks like this, kind of like an upside down heart. So I want it to be a little bit different than this brown. So let me look and find maybe this one that I just opened up to. It's yellow, it's different yellow. So I, again, ripped out the entire paper. I'm going to take my stencil shape and put it over the magazine. My stencil I'm going to hold down with my left hand and draw around the shape to trace it with my right. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you could see, it's sort of like an upside down heart. When I'm cutting out an area, sometimes I'll cut a circle around the shape. Put this aside and continue to cut out the details. So that's my mouth shape. Now, I really like this page. I like the colors in it. I think it reminds me of a dog. So I'm going to take an ear, my ear shape. Got 2 of them. And I am going to now cut out. First I'm going to trace and then I'm going to cut out my ears. It's okay if it's not perfect, just to get the general shape. So I am done cutting my 4 largest shapes, or my most important shapes. I did my head, did my mouth, and my 2 large ears. So let's look at this large shape of my head. The mouth, I'm going to put almost about halfway and let those 2 curvy shapes hang off the bottom. So an upside down heart. And then remember my big ears. So I'm going to take the pointy side and kind of slip it right behind the head. I like how I have different patterns. That's the interesting part about collage. So it was nice I took it all from one page. It has similar colors, but different patterns. So far, out of just those 4 basic shapes, we created a really fun looking pattern. So what you can do is actually place down your shapes onto your template. Your ear, you want to place down your face first before your mouth. And so I saw this grass piece, gonna want at the bottom. Feel free to move the shapes around however you like and test them out. If you don't want your shapes that way, then you can continue to look for a color you do like or a pattern you do like, or just flip them around and see what you come up with. Next, we are going to be adding the details of the dog's face. So, we've got these 4 main shapes, and now we're going to be adding a large eye, so 2 large eyes. You could stop there, and that could be all you have in your collage, and that will look great. If you feel like going a little bit further with the eyes, I will show you how to do that in just a moment. Our last detail step that is necessary would be this little shape, which is going to act as the dog's nose. So I put that So here I laid out all my details on top. So I have my nose on top of my mouth, my 2 eyes towards the middle of my face, and I added 2 eyebrows on top of those eyes. I think eyebrows help really make a fun expression. So what I'm going to do is very carefully slide off the details to the side. So that means your nose, your 2 eyes, and any other extra details like your eyebrows. I'm also going to remove the mouth to the side and my big head. We're gonna do, so it's kind of fun. We're gonna investigate through a magazine and try to find what colors you would like for your ears, your face, and your mouth. So think one shape at a time. So now that we have broken down the steps and found our shapes, hopefully with magazines or colored paper, we're only talking about these 4 large shapes. So I am now going to be applying my magazine cutouts. So I found my 4 large shapes. My head, my mouth, and my ears. They're similar to the shapes in the stencils, not exactly perfect, which is okay. So what I'm gonna do now is separate the 4 large shapes and put them to the side. I'm going to grab my dog template. I'm going to start with the ears. So this is my first ear, the one on my left. What I'm going to do is take my glue, turn it over. So the side that I don't want to show will be getting glue. I'm going to place glue on the back. Not so much that it's oozing off, just a little. And place it down where I want my ear. It goes a little bit on top of the head, and that's okay. Do the same thing to my right ear. I use the same paper for these 2 ears, and I like that they are similar, but yet very different. I use different shapes and patterns when I cut out my ears. Next, we want the large head. This is very important to put down first before any other face details, because this is going to be closest to the background. Everything else will go on top. So this is the part I want to show. So I'm going to turn it over and put glue on the part I do not want to show. Flip it over. Place my head. Make sure everything feels like it's glued down. Okay, next I'm going to apply my mouth. Now my mouth is gonna go right, it's gonna start right about here and go a little bit further than the face. All right, so it's gonna start about halfway on my face. Now, if you don't like the placement, maybe right away you could slowly lift it up like I just did. Or later we can come back and add marker, kind of make it your own even more, have your own style. So far we've got the mouth, the 2 ears, and the face. All right, now for the details. We're gonna look for our nose shape. So I'm going to put the details on my stencil cutouts. And then I'll put the details on top of my collage. Here's my little nose. He's going to go right on top of the mouth. Here's my eyes. They're gonna go towards the middle too, above the mouth. All right, so I'm gonna move this to the side and take away this ear just for the demonstration. This is the nose that I cut out, and I'm gonna place it right here on my mouth. Snapped. Take some glue, a little less glue because it's a smaller piece. Place it down. Now for my eyes. I have these light blue eyes. I'm gonna place here and here. Just a little bit of glue. Okay, so far we have a really fun looking dog. You can stop here, and this is beautiful. If you want to add a few more details, I will show you what I recommend. My favorite part of dogs are their eyes. I think that eyebrows really help make a fun expression. So my eyebrows, I'll show you my example, are gonna go right above the eyes. So my eyebrows are going to go above the eyes. They kind of look like a quotation mark or a tear. So I cut out these. They're not super visible. You can definitely make them bigger. That could be very fun. So I'm gonna place my eyebrows. And now, since I do like them, I'm gonna glue them down. Sometimes it's hard with the smaller shapes, but don't rush through it and don't give up. Have some patience. Okay, so now it kind of looks like he is surprised. His eyebrows are up. Now, for your next detail, that's going to be inside the eyes. There are two ways to do this. One way would be the way so I'm actually going to draw that shape. And again, that is on your stencil template if you choose. Okay, and then the most important part is like the dark part of their eye, the pupil. So with the orange, I showed you an example. I'm gonna now draw it though. So with your marker, you now can edit the eyes. Maybe you want to create more of an eyelid or eyelashes. This is the part where you really make your dog yours. You could create circles around his muzzle. could even create whiskers. And it's okay to have it come off. That's what collage is. It's a lot of mixing, matching, trying, all different types of materials. You can add a neck. You could keep it this way. It's up to you. You could add a hat. It's up to you. But I'd love to see your artwork. So please post a picture and share what you created. It was really great to work with everyone today, and I hope to see you guys soon.